lesson, we're going to look at the surface area of rectangular prisms. So in the last lesson, we looked at the surface area of cubes, and there was a very specific formula that we used for cubes. With rectangular prisms, there's really no such formula. So cubes, there was a formula because cubes are made up of all squares, and so we could sort of wrap it up in a nice little package and call it a day. But with rectangular prisms, it's not made up of all one shape. So, to review, surface area is the sum of all of the faces of a shape. Here's a rectangular prism. You can see that it has a height, it has a width, and it has a length. And then I've opened it up into a net so that you can see what it looks like when we open it up. We're going to find the surface area using the complete solid and then also the net of the solid too, so that you have practice using both. Now, on your formula sheet, this is what you want to write down, okay? So again, we're doing surface area of rectangular prisms, and so our formula is going to be the sum of the areas of each side, okay? And so we're going to call them faces 1 through 6. Face 1, face 2, face 3, face 4, face 5, and face 6, okay? So for our example here, we have, I have the complete solid, and then I have the net of the solid, okay? And we have a length of 5 centimeters, a width of 3 centimeters, and a height of 4 centimeters. And then I also have the net here as well. And let me see if it'll work if I zoom it in a bit. Let's see. No, that won't quite work. Let me see if I can back it up just a little bit. Nope, that won't work either. Okay, so we're going to have to keep it this way. Alright, so with face 1, what we're going to do is, and again, you can actually start anywhere on the net that you want, okay, or sorry, anywhere on the solid or the net that you want. There's no like, this has to be face 1 or that has to be face 2. It's totally up to you. And what you're doing is you're just calculating the area of each one of those faces. Now, rectangular prisms are made up of rectangles. And so its area equals base times height. And so you can just literally calculate that either in your head or in your calculator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this side right here. So the base is 3 and the height is 4. So area equals base times height. 3 times 4 is going to be 12 centimeters squared. Okay. Now I'm going to do face 2, so I'm just going to move across. I'm going to go all the way around, and then I'm going to do the top and the bottom. So I have a base of 5, and I have a height, again, of 4 centimeters. So 5 times 4 is going to be 20 centimeters squared. Now I'm going to move around to the other side here, so it should have a base of 3 because it should match this one. And again, the height is 4, so 3 times 4 is 12 centimeters squared. Now I'm doing the back side here, the side that's sort of facing away from us. So it should have a base of 5 because it should match this one here. And again, a height of 4. So 5 times 4 is going to be 20 centimeters squared. Now I'm going to do the top. So the top is going to have a base of 3 because it should match this right here. And then it's going to have a height of 5. Because it should match this right here. So 3 times 5 is going to be 15 centimeters squared. Now what's nice is this top should completely match the bottom, okay? So again, it should be 3 centimeters by 5 centimeters. So 15 centimeters squared. Once you have all of that, you just need to add it up, okay? So we're going to do 12 plus 20 plus 12 plus 20 plus 15 plus 15, and we're going to get a total of 94 centimeters squared, and that is the surface area. It would work the exact same way if you were using the net, okay? And again, because it's surface area, area is always squared. So let's go ahead and look at our first example. And remember, you can always pause it if you need more time on your formula sheet. So for our formula, what we do is we write sum of, let's try that again. So surface area equals sum of faces. Okay, and I just write F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, and that's for face 1 all the way through face 6. So again, you can start anywhere you want to. I kind of like to start on one of the sides and then do the top and the bottom first. Okay? So, I'm going to start on the side here. So let's see, I have a height of 2. Oh, this is labeled a little oddly. So I have a height of 2, and then the length is going to be 3 because it says the width here is 3. So I have 2 times 3, that's going to be 6 meters squared. Now I'm going to move, so I can put a little check mark there. Now I'm going to move over here. So I have, this is going to be 4, but I know my height is 2, so 4 times 2, that's going to be 8 meters squared. Now, this side should match this side, but I'm going to check it. So it's going to be 3 with a height of 2. So 3 times 2 is 6 meters squared. Okay. Now my back side that's facing away from me, 4 across and 2 tall. So 4 times 2 is 8 meters squared. Now I'm going to do the top. So 4 across and 3 wide. So 3 times 4 is 12 meters squared. And the bottom should totally match the top. But I'm going to check. So it's going to go 4 long and 3 wide, which is going to be 12 meters squared. Now I simply need to add it all up. So 6 plus 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 12 plus 12. And so that's going to give me a surface area of 52 meters to the second power. Alright, example number 2. So surface area formula is surface area equals the sum of the faces. And remember that sum means the addition of the faces. Okay? So, again, you can start anywhere on here that you want because ultimately we are adding it up. But I just like to start on one of the sides and then do the top and the bottom last. So I'm going to start here. So it says that my width, my base is 4.8 and my height is 6. So 4.8 times 6 is going to be 28.8 centimeters squared. Okay, so I got that side. Now here I have a base of 7 and a height of 6. So that's 42 centimeters squared. So I got that side. Now I have this other side here, which should be identical to this one. So that's going to be a height of 6 and a base of 4.8. So that's going to be 28.8 centimeters squared. Now I have this side that's facing totally away from me, which should have the same bottom. So 7 and a height of 6, which is 42 centimeters squared. So I got the back side. Now I need the top. So the top is going to be 7 across and 4.8 wide. So 7 times 4.8, that's going to be 33.6 centimeters squared. And remember, the top should match the bottom. Okay, but let's just check. So 7 across the bottom, 4.8 wide, that's 33.6 centimeters squared. Now we just need to add it all up. Excuse me. So 28.8 plus 42 plus 28.8 plus 42 plus 33.6 plus 33.6. And that's going to give us a total of 208.8 centimeters squared. Alright, so for example number 3, I have for you the 3D solid, and I also have the net. So a lot of people find the net to be a lot easier because you can actually write on it and the dimensions are a lot clearer. So first off, my formula is surface area equals the sum of the faces. Alright, so I'm going to draw on the net, and I'm not going to work with this one this time because we've worked with this a lot so far. So over here I have 7 times 4, which is 28. Then over here I have 5 times 7, which is 35. Over here I have 5 times 7, which is also 35. I have 5 times 4, which is 20. Now I have these two, which are a little trickier. So I have 7. Now, where's my height? So my height is going to match this height, which is 4. So 7 times 4, which is 28. And now I have this guy in the middle. So here should match here, which is 5. And then this should match this, which is 4. So 5 times 4 is 20. And now I just add them all up. So I have 28 plus 35 plus 20 plus 35 plus 28 plus 20. Oops, and I forgot to write them in here. So 28 feet squared, 35 feet squared, 20 feet squared, 35 feet squared, 28 feet squared, and 20 feet squared. And that's going to give us a total surface area of 166 feet squared. Alright, you go ahead and try this one. So I have it turned sideways, but you can still go ahead and write on it. Alright, go ahead and pause if you're not done. So I just wrote the dimensions right on the net because it was a lot easier for me to do, and then I transferred them into my F1 through F6. So I had 4 faces that were exactly the same, 490 yards squared, and then I had 2 that were 14 by 14, which were 196 yards squared. When I added them all up, it gave me 2,352 yards squared. Alright, go ahead and try this one. Alright, go ahead and pause if you're not done. So for this net, I had 4 faces that were 150 inches squared, and then I had 2 that were 100 inches squared. And when I added them all up together, I got 800 inches squared. Alright, last one for you try. Alright, go ahead and hit pause if you're not done. So here we had two faces that were 4.8 meters squared. We had two faces that were 7.2 meters squared, and we had two faces that were 6 meters squared. And when you added them all up, you should have gotten 36 meters squared. Alright, that is the end of this lesson. We're going to do more practice in class, but let me know if you have any questions.